This is the perfect video camera for anybody who wants to be shooting documentary, sports, or news gathering with ease. This is the Canon XF605. We already have the XF705 on the market by Canon. Three major improvements in the XF605 that I would like to mention because I think they're rather important. Firstly, the size and the weight of the camera is, well, it's 10% smaller and 600 grams lighter, which is of course very important for anybody who wants to keep that form factor and weight as low as possible for all of your workhorse camera needs, just to take the strain off the arms if it's a long day, but also so it's just a little bit more portable, you know, stick it in your bag and carrying it around with you. The other thing that's worth mentioning is that the 605 has 120 FPS slow motion, which the 705 could only go up to 50 FPS. So for all of you sports filmmakers or documentary filmmakers who want to be making use of slow motion, this is the one that you want to get out of those two because it just gives you that little bit more creativity on getting those extra frames and slowing things down. The third thing I'd like to mention is that both the 705 and the 605 both work with the Dual Pixel CMOS AF technology for your autofocus. What the 605 has over the 705 is that it also benefits from the same technology that the Canon EOS C70 uses, which is the eye detect technology, which not only does it latch onto a human's eyes for when it's focusing on them, but also if they turn their head and walk away dramatically, it will still latch onto the back of their head, recognizing that they've done a head turn, essentially. So on this camera, you have two SDXC card slots. You can obviously dual record, hot swap cards and everything if you're recording all day and you need to keep swapping and keep media in the recording and everything. Standard SDXC cards, V90s, you get the best results out of. Same as the C70 really. What I will say about this eyepiece now that I'm using it is that the little LCD at the back of it is quite far away. Looking down this little thingy here, the screen seems quite small, so I have to really concentrate to see if I've got focus, which if I was to be using, say, like a mirrorless camera where I was switching it to your viewfinder in here, it'd be, I'm used to it being a lot closer basically. So for anyone coming from like a mirrorless camera to something like this, there is a slight difference, but I think it's easy enough to get used to. There might even be a way to like adjust this to your eye. Yeah, sort of, yeah. Yeah, there we go, actually. Oh yeah, learn on the go. That's the way to go. Oh. All right. Okay, I'm gonna switch my AF back on. Easy peasy. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna do a tilt up into those windmills at the back right there. Oh wow. I'm not even, yeah, that's as close as it goes. Gave it a little bit of a nudge there, but we're quite at the end just then. If I zoom all the way out, that is awesome.
Now, this is a 15 times optical zoom lens, so you get a nice bit of reach, and it's an f2.8 to f4.5 aperture. So it's pretty nice and quick, to be honest, all the way through that zoom range. You wouldn't expect that to be consistent, but 4.5, not bad at all for 15 times zoom. Allows you to just shoot things without having to push your ISOs too high. And this isn't full frame or anything, remember, it's got a smaller sensor, so you are gonna wanna watch that in low light situations. Now, the thing I like the most, and actually Sean has commented on this throughout the day as well, is that on the front here we have this nice hood, big hood, helps you protect from, you know, like blinding sunlight like we've got right now, you know, trying to completely blind me. This has more of like a barn door scenario. So on the side we've got this little switch and you can just close them up, open and close them. You can't lose that. You can break it, but you can't lose it. And I really like that. Now, the lens on the side here, you can zoom with it. You can focus with it, and you've also got aperture control. So you've got 3 rings there, and your ND filters are just behind. So in terms of your actual control, whether you're using the eyepiece or you're sitting it here with the screen out, you've got a lot of control through the actual lens, which I think is where that hand wants to be sitting for the most kind of balanced hold anyway. So it's all pretty practical, and there's a nice bit of difference between these rings, so you don't confuse zoom with focus with aperture. It's really easy to tell the difference.
Immediately, the menu system on this camera everything is pretty much where you would like it to be, I suppose, but aesthetically everything is labelled the same. So for anyone who's familiar with Canon menu systems, this is just more of what you would expect, really. For your sound recording, all the usual bells and whistles from a camera of this type. You've got 2 XLR ports on the side of the body, just attached to the handle grip here. It's all kind of interconnected. You can't disconnect this at all by the looks of it. It's all just part of this one body. So you've got your phantom power, so 48 volts phantom power for those who need it. You also got mic, and you've also got line. And if you're not using either of the 2 XLR ports, you do have a 3.5mm jack port on the side here as well, if you're using say like a smaller microphone or something like that. The microphone mount right here, you can unscrew it and remove it if you don't want to use it. Sometimes you want to get maybe a sturdier one, because these tend to snap if you just shove them into camera bags and all that. So, but this does feel very stable. It's got a nice shock absorption sort of build to it. So if you're like moving the camera about quite a lot, quite vigorously, you shouldn't get any sound interference if you're using a boom mic like this. Also, it fits very snugly onto the boom mic. Sometimes these little microphone holders can be a bit wide for microphones of this type. This is an MKE 600 Sennheiser, which is quite thin. So the fact that it fits in quite snugly, doesn't feel it's going to fall out at all, is really nice. I'm just like wanting to do a little sound check here, but what I've discovered is that the audio that I'm monitoring right now is the scratch audio from the inbuilt microphone of the camera. Sorry about the train. And basically, I obviously want this to be where my sound is coming in from. So I just need to jump into the menu and do the old switcheroo. I'm sure it'll be simple enough. So I've discovered the problem. It was very quick and easy. All I did was went into the menu, went to my sound settings, the sound part of the menu, and then immediately I see audio input selection. I just click on that, and then I see that it is the built-in mic. So I'm just gonna switch that over to, not input terminals. Oh wait, no, yeah, input terminal, right? And there we go. So the main reason I was doing this whole sound switcheroo just now is because, well, Amy is filming this video today and she has some words to share. So take it away, Amy.
Hello there. Now, the XF605, the reason that I've been falling in love with this camera all day is the fact that it is the all-in-one package. Now, there are, you know, ways to build exactly what the 605 is in other cameras. You know, I shoot mirrorless primarily, and you know, there's a lot of stuff I can do in my camera already. But I do love the idea that if I've got my kit bag and I'm running a couple of systems, the XF605 only takes up its own room. There's no building it or grabbing this out or having another whole bag of lenses and accessories. It's all there ready to go, and I do love the idea of just being able to pick that up, start shooting straight away, and not having to worry about adding 40 things to it before I can press record. Do you know what, viewers? I don't like tripods really, if I'm honest. I like that they serve a purpose, and for photography I love when you're doing like a long exposure, you can get cool stuff, but in general I am lazy and tripods mean I have to carry more things, and that is annoying. See? Cumbersome. just a few more controls we want to point your eyes at. We've got a focus switch here. You can go from manual to auto, iris switch, which is aperture, from manual to auto, and you've got a zoom switch from ring to rocker. So it's just another few manual controls that are easy to change and make this camera exactly how you like to use it. So it's easy and quick. We've got USB, which is USB-C, which is nice. We've got a LAN port. I'll show you all of these because they are useful. We've got HDMI, full-sized, sexy. Got a remote B, time code in there. Oh God, they're all, it's like little terrible Lego. We've got G-Lock sync in there and SDI out as well. Come on, I'm not gonna leave you out. SDI out, and in the bottom, this is where you can put your DC in. So you can run it off that.
Something I've just realized about this autofocus and about this touchscreen LCD monitor, 3.5 inch by the way, half an inch shorter than the 705 model, is that this has touch focusing. So wherever I tap on my monitor right here, if I just go into record, it prioritizes where I touch on the screen. So I've got like this fencing going down this way, and there's a sign which is saying caution, helicopters taking off around here is an airport. And if I touch on that, it focuses straight away. And it's nice and smooth as well. It's not too jarring. It's quite organic, which I think is really cool. If I pan, it tracks with it. It recognizes it and it follows it. It's worth mentioning that today is a very, very sunny, very contrasty sort of day, which is actually a very good sort of setting to test a camera like this, because obviously like you don't really know what kind of settings you're gonna have. Anybody can shoot in an overcast day where the lighting is very soft, but if you've got a camera that cannot handle contrast very well, then that can be a problem in a professional setting. So thanks to this camera having things like HLG and C-Log 3 and those kinds of picture profiles dedicated to dealing with quite wide dynamic range contrasty situations, it's the perfect test. There is a lot you can say about a camera of this type of build. It's got everything included in it. Of course, like you need to attach your own microphones and all that, but as far as your lens and just the whole camera in general really, like it is ready to go at a moment's notice, which is extremely useful in the world of journalism, corporate filmmaking, documentary, you name it. Now, if you want to find out more about it, then I would suggest you head on over to our website. There is a link in the description to that where you can read up all the information that we have on this camera. But of course, if you have any questions, then you can leave a comment down below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can with all the information that you could need. Now, we're making content on this channel all the time, so I would consider subscribing to this channel if you like the sort of content that we create, and ring that notification bell if you want to stay up to date and get all those notifications for as and when we release something. And as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.